this episode of GMDSS Communications, we are going to concentrate on the VHF. What is the VHF? It is the very high frequency communications used in marine communications. Having said that, why VHF is so important in GMDSS? As we saw in GMDSS concept, the sea areas are divided into four, with the area A1 having an access to a VHF coast radio stations within a range of about 50 to 60 nautical miles. So in this VHF, what happens is the communication is through the line of sight. Now what is this line of sight communication? Line of sight communication is basically a principle where the height of the transmitting antenna should see the receiving antenna, which means as long as the receiving antenna is higher enough to see the transmitting antenna, the communication between the transmitting station and the receiving stations is possible. This is called the line of sight. So, in area A1, a coast station situated on a land using a VHF communication will have a maximum reach of up to about 60 miles or 70 miles in the sea. And all vessels in that area will be easily accessible to the coast stations for any emergency communication, as the emphasis is based on the distress, safety and urgency communication in the GMDSS, where the communication between ship to shore, shore to ship, on-scene communication, bridge communication, etc. has to be fulfilled. So VHF will be an easy way of accomplishing this task using the line of sight configuration. Now VHF in the marine band is from 156.025 megahertz, and the radio spectrum as such in VHF is from 30 to 300 megahertz. So the frequency band for marine communication is 156.025 megahertz, which is basically known as the channel 16, a very important channel in VHF communication, where the channel 16 is designated as the distress, urgency, safety calling frequency. What is this distress, urgency, safety calling frequency? As we know, the three top priorities in communication in marine is the distress, the urgency, the safety, and the normal calling. So people who have sailed, or the cadets who have a fair idea of the wheelhouse, they must have come across on the VHF and the purpose of using VHF communication. We use it for normal communication on channel 16. We use it for the onboard communications with the own people working in the forward and aft. We use it for the pilot approach stations. We use it for the port control and many other such things. Even though the frequency in marine band starts at 156.025, there are other bands where various other operations are also taking place. Example, police wireless, the citizens band radio in VHF, the ham operations, and all other such important operations are also designated to be operated in the VHF or using this band between 30 to 300 megahertz. Now, the terminal you see next to me is a live equipment with respect to the GMDSS exam. This is a Sailor model. It is RT2048, whereas in the display you see the two terminals. The one on the terminal is the VHF DSC modem, where you use the VHF channel 70 for communicating in times of distress, urgency or safety, and also for your routine calls. We will be seeing about these operations in our next video or in subsequent videos. But the one today, what we are going to concentrate is the one which I am showing that the down one unit, this one. This is called the VHF transceiver RT2048. This is a model from Sailor, which is widely being used in the GMDSS exams all over, and simulator training is also required for this, where you will be asked to exhibit your proficiency in operation and also in the simulators. Now this is a live equipment. All you have is the VHF transceiver, which is going to do the basic function of transmitting and receiving your voice communication, that is the radio telephony in channel 16 and other channels. You have a handset. This is the handset with which you communicate. It's just like your telephone. And you have a pressure switch in between. This is a pressure switch. I'm pressing it. Now the function of this pressure switch, unless and until this is pressed, the transmission is not going to take place. This is a transceiver, which means the transmitter and the receiver are both housed in one single unit. The power output of the terminal is 25 watts full and 5 watts unreduced power. Now what is this full power? 25 watts and 5 watts of reduced power. Full power. When you are in open sea, when you need to communicate with other ships, you use your full power. And the reduced power of 5 watts is just to facilitate the communication between your own ship crew or with vessels in the nearby vicinity or when you are in an anchorage. And the main purpose of this reduced power is to avoid damage to the equipment, because 25 watts of power, it can cause irrevocable damage to your own equipment and also to the equipment on the nearby vicinity. Now what is the main components of this equipment? There is nothing but one is this transceiver unit, one is your handset, you have a whip antenna which will be mostly in the Monkey Island or the Monkey Island, and then you might have a power supply which will basically give you the required 24 volt DC for operation of this equipment. Having said this, what is the operation of it? It's very simple and it's very basic. It's just like switching on your radio in the house. Whereas in your house, you tune to the required frequency in the radio, but here the programs, the channels are pre-programmed and you can select by the numerical keypad. And now this is the numerical keypad. From 1, 2, 3, you have all these things. And there is something on the red mark, that is channel 16. The main advantage of channel 16 of this button is, in whichever channel you are, you can come back to channel 16 in times of emergency by just pressing this like this. And now how to switch on this equipment? Switching off this equipment is, now you can see the channel 16 on the display, which means the equipment is switched on to channel 16 and it is ready for transmission. All I have to do is pick up the handset, press the pressure switch and speak on the mouthpiece, like speaking in your telephone. Then the next one is, this also serves the purpose of volume control, which you can increase the volume or decrease the volume of the incoming signal from the speaker or the audio from the speaker. And you have a squelch control. Squelch control is nothing but a control when the reception is not clear. You adjust the squelch so that the reception becomes a very bit clear. It may not be perfectly clear, but a bit clear. And how do you select the channel? For example, if I have to select the channel 6, 7, all I have to do is press 6, 7. Here it is not working. Say, let us say I have to select the channel 9. Press 9. Say channel 12. Press like this. This is how it is being operated. And what is this? Another one, channel 16. As I said, is a very simple operation to bring back the equipment to channel 16, 156.025 megahertz for immediate transmission. You keep pressing this, the display changes here. Since this is a old equipment, this is not in working condition. It is just being used for demonstration purposes. In your simulator also, the same functions will have to be carried out. And there are few functions which you need to know how to go to the US channel. Now, what is the US channel? When vessels are operating in the US coast, you have to operate on the US channel. Press shift and press 8. You will have a display coming here saying US. And same thing for reduced power. You can press just shift and 1 watt, it will be the reduced power. And the operation is quite simple. There is nothing much we need to do in this equipment. And there are few things which we need to know about this thing. A basic fault finding procedure when you are sailing on a ship, when you don't receive. Very frequently I have come across complaints saying that my VHF is not transmitting on the long range. This and other issues we will see in the next video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and also please forward to this your other friends in the group who might be looking for more information. Thank you very much.